Dear Taurus, what if the tension you've been feeling inside your home lately is not here to disrupt your life, but to guide you toward the stability and abundance you've quietly been craving for much longer than you realize? What if the discomfort sitting beneath the surface is actually opening the door to a future that reflects your true worth more honestly than the life you've been trying so hard to maintain? If this message found you during June 9th and 10th, trust that it did not happen by accident. Something inside you was already beginning to wake up before you ever pressed play. In this video, we're stepping into a deeply transformative moment for Taurus during this powerful stretch of early June. A shift is moving through the emotional foundations of your life, especially in the spaces where you search for comfort, peace, security, and emotional stability. What first feels unsettling may eventually become the exact moment everything begins aligning in a healthier and more honest way. This could arrive through tension at home, an emotional realization, financial pressure, or the quiet recognition that something you once depended on no longer feels the same. Take a slow breath for a moment, Taurus, and really notice the atmosphere around you. Does it feel like the energy inside your home has been changing lately, as though certain emotions can no longer stay hidden beneath routine, politeness, or silence? You are not imagining this shift. You are sensing an emotional recalibration that is slowly guiding you toward a different version of stability than the one you have been holding on to for years. Pluto continues moving through Capricorn, pressing against old emotional structures connected to home, family, inherited beliefs, and the life you worked hard to make feel secure. This energy reaches deep into emotional habits and patterns formed long before you understood how deeply they shaped the way you live and love. Pluto does not settle for surface-level adjustments. It exposes what has quietly outgrown its purpose and brings hidden truths into the light where they can no longer be ignored. If there has been imbalance around trust, money, emotional support, or your understanding of what safety should feel like, this period begins revealing it more clearly. During June 9th and 10th, the moon's movement through Virgo energy encourages you to look beneath your immediate emotions and ask what has truly been weighing on your spirit for so long. You may begin noticing whose voice has carried the most influence in your environment, and whether your own needs have slowly been pushed aside simply to preserve comfort or routine. Some realizations may feel uncomfortable at first. You could become aware of decisions made around you without your full understanding, or recognize emotional patterns inside your home that no longer feel healthy, balanced, or emotionally sustainable. But clarity is arriving for a reason. What surfaces now is not meant to endlessly wound you. It is meant to help you reclaim honesty, self-worth, emotional peace, and a stronger foundation beneath your life. As Venus forms a meaningful connection with Uranus during this time, an unexpected shift may begin opening a path you could not fully see before. What first feels inconvenient, unfair, or emotionally disruptive may later reveal itself as the exact moment redirecting your life towards something far more aligned and abundant. Taurus grows most deeply not by clinging to familiarity, but by realizing you deserve a life that genuinely supports your peace instead of merely preserving appearances. The energy of 444 surrounds this period with themes of grounding, rebuilding, and creating stronger emotional foundations. If you've been pouring your energy into situations with little emotional or financial return, this cycle begins shifting that pattern. But before life can stabilize in a healthier way, something outdated inside the structure must change. What no longer fits cannot continue occupying the same space inside your future. And remember this carefully, Taurus. When tension rises at home or emotions surface unexpectedly, it does not mean you have failed. Sometimes life unsettles the spaces we depend on because we have quietly outgrown them without fully realizing it yet. The routines, emotional roles, or expectations you once carried may have protected you before, but now they may be limiting the person you are trying to become. I have seen this truth unfold in many lives. Often the thing we fight hardest to keep becomes the very thing preventing us from stepping into the life we've quietly been asking for all along. When emotional foundations begin cracking, it can feel frightening, especially for someone who values stability as deeply as you do. But sometimes those cracks are not destruction at all. They are openings where truth, fresh air, freedom, and possibility finally begin entering your life again. So if the atmosphere inside your home feels different during these days, listen instead of pretending everything feels normal. Let difficult conversations reveal what has remained buried beneath routine or politeness for too long. Let the emotional heaviness inside certain spaces show you where your spirit has been asking for more honesty, more peace, and more room to grow into yourself. You are not losing yourself, Taurus. You are expanding beyond a version of life that no longer reflects who you are becoming. And if this message already feels familiar deep inside your spirit, say it aloud in the comments. Write, "I am ready to build a life that truly feels like mine." Or simply type 444 to anchor this shift into your reality and intention. Sometimes the universe does not arrive gently. Sometimes it changes the atmosphere around you until hidden truths can finally be felt clearly enough to transform everything. During this period, 3 powerful tarot energies rise to the surface, not simply to guide you, but to uncover truths hidden beneath the comfort of your routines, relationships, and sense of home. The first card stepping forward is the Tower, a symbol many people misunderstand. The Tower is not destruction without purpose. It appears when life removes what can no longer support the person you are becoming. For you, Taurus, this may unfold through tension at home, financial discomfort, changing family dynamics, or realizations that shift the way you view security itself. Someone may finally speak a truth buried for too long, or you may recognize something your heart has quietly sensed for months. Even if it feels unsettling at first, this is not random chaos. It is alignment beginning to take shape in a more honest and emotionally healthy form. Following the Tower comes the 10 of Pentacles, deeply connected to long-term abundance, emotional security, family legacy, and the kind of stability that lasts across generations. This energy points toward deeper matters involving finances, property, inheritance, or emotional agreements that shaped your understanding of safety and belonging. Together, these cards suggest the changes unfolding now are preparing you for a more grounded and authentic form of abundance. Something is shifting, so you can finally step into the support, stability, or recognition that once felt slightly out of reach. Then comes the Justice card, arriving like balance returning after a long season of emotional imbalance. Justice brings clarity, accountability, and truth into situations that have remained uneven for too long. For you, Taurus, this may involve an important conversation, legal matter, financial agreement, or personal awakening where you finally decide your peace and self-worth deserve protection. There may come a moment when you quietly tell yourself, "I deserve honesty. I deserve stability that does not require me to silence my own needs." Justice is not always emotionally easy, but it leaves behind something real and lasting. The sequence of these cards carries a deeper message. They are not simply predicting events, they are confirming what part of you already feels inside. The emotional foundation of your life is shifting because your soul is ready for something more aligned with your growth and future. After watching so many people move through seasons like this, I can tell you honestly that discomfort is not proof you are on the wrong path. Often it is the sign that your spirit no longer fits inside an old version of life. The Tower asks you to be honest about what no longer feels stable. The 10 of Pentacles reminds you that you deserve a life that nourishes you instead of draining you. And Justice reminds you that what truly belongs to you cannot miss you forever. So if June 9th and 10th bring difficult truths or emotional realizations, stay present with them instead of retreating into comfort simply because it feels familiar. Speak when your spirit asks to be heard, listen carefully when clarity arrives, and remember that this is not your life collapsing around you. It is your future slowly rearranging itself into something far more honest, grounded, peaceful, and lasting. And if this message is already reaching something deep inside you, Taurus, allow yourself to meet it honestly. Share in the comments, "I release what no longer supports my peace. I am ready for truth and grounded abundance." Or simply type 444 to affirm that you are stepping into a stronger and more aligned version of yourself. You were never meant to stay trapped inside comfort that keeps your spirit small. There comes a point in every spiritual journey when the things that once felt safe begin to feel unfamiliar. Taurus, this may be that moment for you. The routines, relationships, or emotional roles that once brought comfort may now be revealing where the foundation underneath them has quietly weakened. For a long time, you carried the weight patiently, hoping loyalty and endurance would eventually restore balance on their own. But the energy surrounding June 9th and 10th is no longer asking you to simply tolerate what no longer feels healthy. A conversation, realization, financial issue, or shift inside the home may interrupt the peace you've worked so hard to preserve. You may recognize that certain choices were made without your full awareness, or realize someone's influence over your stability runs deeper than you first believed. Even if these realizations hurt, they are not arriving to destroy you. They are arriving to wake you up. The emotions rising now deserve to be felt honestly, instead of buried beneath routine and responsibility. What is surfacing is not proof that your life is collapsing. It is a sign that you are finally ready to release what only appeared stable on the surface. Because behind this shift, Taurus, something healthier is trying to enter your life. A stronger emotional foundation, a deeper sense of self-worth, a future that no longer asks you to survive emotionally while calling it peace. The universe does not remove what is truly meant for you. It clears away what has become too limiting for your growth. For too long, you may have stayed quiet or ignored your own needs just to keep situations stable and familiar. But now the energy is changing. What has remained hidden beneath politeness, obligation, or emotional exhaustion can no longer stay buried. Sometimes blessings first appear disguised as discomfort, and clarity often arrives through moments that initially feel confusing. But when you stay present instead of running from the truth, something powerful begins happening. You start seeing exactly where your energy has been draining away, and little by little, you begin reclaiming yourself. Taurus, this is not the end of your stability. It is the beginning of building a life that actually nourishes you instead of simply containing you. So if emotions become overwhelming, pause and breathe slowly. You are not losing yourself through this process. You are waking up to parts of your spirit that have waited a long time to be heard. What is unfolding now is connected not only to money or external success, but also to freedom, self-respect, and creating a life where you no longer need to shrink yourself to maintain peace. If this resonates with your journey, share your truth below. Comment, "I am no longer afraid to outgrow what no longer fits my life." Or simply type 444 to affirm that you are ready to receive what truly belongs to you. Your emotions are not weakness, Taurus. They are guiding you toward a life with room for the person you are becoming. If you've stayed with this message this far, then part of you already understands that your life is asking you to grow. Something inside you is beginning to move now, quietly but unmistakably. June 9th and 10th are not simply emotional dates passing in the background. What unfolds during this time has the power to shape the emotional and financial foundation you continue building in the months ahead. This is not about forcing change or reacting impulsively. It is about becoming intentional with your energy, your choices, and the life you are creating around yourself. When emotions rise or uncomfortable truths surface, that is not your sign to retreat into old routines. It is your invitation to begin restoring balance in a more conscious and honest way. Start with your environment. Taurus, your home affects you deeply because your spirit absorbs energy through atmosphere, comfort, and routine. If life has been feeling emotionally heavy lately, some of that energy may already be living quietly inside your space. This is the moment to clear more than clutter and begin shifting the emotional atmosphere surrounding you. Open the windows and let fresh air move through the rooms that feel stagnant. Burn sage, rosemary, or sandalwood to soften heavy energy and create calm. Let warm light enter your home and use grounding scents like cedarwood, orange, or vanilla to invite clarity, stability, and emotional warmth back into your space. Play music that helps your nervous system relax and reminds your body what peace feels like again. Speak aloud the energy you want your home to carry moving forward. Let your surroundings support the life you are growing into instead of holding emotions you have already outgrown. Then turn your attention toward what may feel harder to face. Financial matters, legal papers, old agreements, unresolved conversations, or shared responsibilities may begin asking for your awareness now. There is potential for an important realization connected to your money, your rights, or your emotional investment inside certain relationships. Trust your instincts if something no longer feels aligned. And remember this carefully, Taurus. What comes into the light now is not arriving to punish you. It is arriving so you can finally move forward without carrying hidden tension beneath the surface of your life. Truth may feel uncomfortable at first, because it interrupts the version of stability you tried so hard to preserve. But honesty creates stronger foundations than silence ever could. There may also be conversations you have delayed because you feared disrupting the peace around you. Yet healing cannot fully grow where truth is constantly avoided. When you speak honestly and listen openly, even difficult emotions begin creating room for something healthier to emerge. If you realize that a relationship, environment, or emotional role no longer honors your worth, allow yourself to take that seriously. Walking away from what drains your spirit is not failure. Sometimes it is the clearest form of self-respect you can choose. You are not abandoning your life when you outgrow something. You are building one that feels more emotionally true. To support your energy during this period, surround yourself with grounding colors and textures. Soft sage green can bring emotional steadiness and renewal. Warm cream and earthy terracotta encourage comfort and movement, while copper tones reconnect you to confidence and abundance. These are not just colors, Taurus. They carry emotional frequencies that shape the atmosphere around you. Let your space support you gently while you move through this period of rebuilding. You are no longer standing passively inside your story. You are becoming the person who consciously decides what stays, what changes, and what kind of life your spirit is finally ready to receive. Every honest action you take now becomes part of the future you are creating. You are no longer available for emotional exhaustion, confusion, or environments that leave you feeling unseen. You are making room for truth, stability, abundance, and peace that can truly last. And if this part of the message speaks to your heart, let it be known in the comments. Write, "I take grounded action. I prepare my life for stability and abundance." Or simply type 444 to anchor this intention into your energy. The future you've been asking for is already beginning to move toward you. At some point in every soul's journey, there comes a quiet realization that certain versions of your life can no longer continue in the same way. Taurus, you are standing at an important threshold right now, even if part of you still feels uncertain about what comes next. What is fading from your life is not your true identity, but the version of yourself that learned to survive by staying quiet, comfortable, or emotionally contained. The roles you carried and the patterns you repeated once served a purpose, but they were never meant to define the person you are becoming now. The urge to shift your surroundings, clear out old energy, or change the atmosphere of your home is not random. Maybe it begins with moving furniture, opening windows, repainting walls, or letting go of objects tied to old memories. But beneath those small changes, something deeper is happening inside you. You are beginning to recognize that true peace and emotional stagnation are not the same thing. There is a growing desire for more honesty, more space, and more freedom to exist without constantly shrinking yourself to keep everyone else comfortable. You may also feel drawn towards solitude during this time, not because you want to disconnect, but because your spirit is craving quiet after carrying emotional noise for too long. Being alone now is not loneliness. It is space for clarity to return and for your inner voice to finally rise above outside expectations. This quieter season is helping your inner compass realign itself naturally, not through constant advice or validation, but through stillness and paying attention to what your spirit truly needs. And in that stillness, you may begin remembering who you are beneath the emotional roles you learned to perform for family, relationships, or the people around you. Certain identities may no longer fit the way they once did. The version of you that always carried the emotional weight or settled for less in order to preserve stability may feel exhausting to maintain now. That is not selfishness, it is awareness. You are allowed to evolve beyond environments and relationships that only recognize older versions of you while ignoring who you are becoming. Honoring your truth does not mean you are betraying anyone. In many ways, it opens the door for healthier honesty and balance for everyone involved. Even so, transformation asks you to release familiar patterns before the next chapter fully reveals itself, and that in-between space can feel uncomfortable at times. But think about a seed beneath the soil. The moment it disappears into darkness is also the moment new life quietly begins underneath the surface. What first feels like an ending is often the beginning of something far more authentic taking shape. You are not losing your foundation, Taurus. You are rebuilding it in a way that finally supports your spirit. Right now, your soul is asking you to trust what is unfolding instead of clinging too tightly to what has already outgrown its purpose. When you release relationships, emotional patterns, or environments built more on obligation than truth, you create room for something healthier to enter your life. Sometimes that blessing arrives as emotional clarity, stronger self-worth, healthier love, or a new sense of peace inside yourself. But every version of that blessing begins with courage. The courage to loosen your grip on what feels familiar, the courage to move through uncertainty without abandoning yourself, and the courage to believe that what truly belongs to you will never require you to become smaller in order to keep it. Taurus, this transformation is not only changing your surroundings, it is changing the emotional energy you carry within yourself. And the choices you make now will begin attracting people, opportunities, and experiences that align more honestly with who you are becoming. This is the beginning of a new chapter unfolding quietly in your life. Not because you forced change before its time, but because you finally stopped resisting what your spirit has been trying to show you for so long. And if this resonates deeply with you, speak it into existence in the comments. Write, "I release what no longer reflects who I am becoming," or simply type 444 to anchor this new beginning with intention. Your home is becoming more than just a place you return to. It is becoming a reflection of the peace, truth, and emotional life you are finally ready to claim for yourself. Taurus, if you've stayed with this message until now, then part of you already understands something important. You were never simply listening to these words. You were recognizing something your spirit has quietly known for a long time. Real abundance does not come from endlessly chasing what already belongs naturally to you. It arrives when your life begins aligning with who you truly are. During June 9th and 10th, what first appears as emotional tension or unexpected change may actually become the turning point that opens a new path forward. This is not life trying to punish you. It is life placing a key in your hands and asking whether you are finally ready to unlock the version of yourself that has been waiting beneath years of quiet endurance and emotional compromise. I know how difficult change can feel when everything familiar suddenly begins shifting shape. But you are not moving through this period simply to survive it. You are moving through it so you can become stronger, clearer, and more emotionally free than before. Whatever rises now is not here to break your spirit. It is here to clear space inside your life. You have already done more inner work than you realize. You have listened, adapted, endured, and remained patient through situations that quietly drained your energy. But now the energy is asking something different from you. It is asking you to receive instead of merely survive. So ask yourself honestly, Taurus, what have you been holding on to simply because it once felt safe? What truth have you avoided because you feared disrupting the comfort around you? And what could happen if you trusted that these changes are not removing your peace, but guiding you toward a deeper version of it? Carry those questions gently as you move through your relationships, your home, and the choices unfolding around you now. Fear may still return from time to time, especially when life begins changing shape. But this season is not truly about fear. It is about freedom, self-worth, and building a life that finally feels emotionally honest. And if this message touched something real inside you, let your energy meet it openly. Share your thoughts in the comments or simply write, "I am ready to receive the life that truly aligns with me." Or type 444 if you are anchoring this new beginning into your energy right now. Even small declarations carry power. The words you repeat to yourself slowly shape the emotional world you live inside. And if this message supported you in any way, take a moment to like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need this reminder too. The connection built here is more than a single message. It is a space where people are learning to heal, grow, and move forward together. You are not being pushed out of alignment, Taurus. You are being guided into it. The stability, peace, and abundance you thought you had to chase may already be finding their way toward you now. Stay with this feeling a little longer, because sometimes the smallest shift in perspective becomes the beginning of an entirely different future.